Hi, this is Spencer Colgan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to cover a couple of tools that all of you do-it-yourselfers have in your garage, and many of you professionals have sometimes in your pockets, right? And what are they? First, we're talking about your average taping knife. Now, this is a 6-inch taping knife. We use this for everything, right? Sometimes if you get desperate, you even take it out and you put your outlet covers on with the point, right? Some of us do that when you're too lazy to go to the truck or go to the toolbox or whatever. But I want to show you these two new taping knives that I got, one being the 4-inch and the other the 6. These are from Purdy. Excellent, excellent taping knives. Why is that? I can come up with two main reasons why you should get these. Number one, this is the taping knife all of us have, right? And for those of you who do wallpaper, some of us are using this to actually put against our woodwork and cut our seams at the bottom, right? I don't like doing that because this thing is sharp, and I don't like leaving the dirt from this on the wallpaper. But I see a lot of installers using something like this. I don't like that. Now these are the typical tools that we tape with. Okay, this is a 3-inch. It's an atypical one, but it's a dinosaur. But this is the main one. With this tool, what you have to do is hold it right here and then use your finger onto the metal. And then it puts a lot of pressure on the wrist. And guess what? My wrist is hurting lately. What I did was I went to Sherwin-Williams and I found two tools that are vastly different, and I want to show you why. Compare the 6-inch dinosaur to the 6-inch Purdy. You can see that the Purdy is longer by 1 inch. I'm going to show you the benefit. I'm a lefty, so I'll use the hard-to-use tool with the left hand. I'll demonstrate. This one allows your hand, small or large, to fit around this handle here. And with this longer tool, I'm using less pressure on the wrist than I have to use with this one. This one, I can feel the pain right here when when you put compound on the wall or the ceiling, and to get it off, you can't just do this. Nobody does like this. You're doing this with your finger. With this, the tool is doing more of the work. My hand is now 1 inch further away from the action. Here's the plaster up here, and now all I got to do is, because it's so flexible, all I have to do is press on this, and this flex action is doing most of the work without my hand having to press on this dinosaur. I can feel the difference in my wrist with doing this than with doing this. Okay, and I attribute that difference to the length of the handle. Okay, now please, this is flexible. You want to get the flexible one. It says it right on there, flex joint knife, flex. And so I highly recommend these tools. Any of these taping knives, brand new, needs a little working in before you actually put them on the work site. You'll see the difference at the edges, and so this gets eroded by using it and also by just sanding it down when I initially bought it. If you look at the corners, you'll see this is a lot sharper. So if I start taping corners with this one, I'm gonna go right through my tape. So this is your typical tape. If I should tape a corner using this brand new tool, I'm gonna scratch this area in here because this is pretty sharp. But if I use the dinosaur, it's not gonna scratch it. It's actually pretty smooth. I can actually feel the difference as I'm doing it. So all I want you to do is take a sanding sponge, or you can use your orbital sander, but you have to be careful. You might take too much. You might actually sharpen it. And I have here an 80 grit. You could use 100 or 120. It's 80, but I already scratched it up against the concrete to take some of the roughness away. And you just take away the sides a bit. You make sure that they're not that sharp. Because you don't want to be scratching your sheetrock when you're taping. And that'll do a good job. And you do it to both of them. If you're doing that work, I highly recommend this bucket scoop. The nice thing about this, for those of you who tape, you know that when you try to get the compound out with this, at the bottom, you're going against a round bucket. And these two edges, even if they're dull, will take the plastic off the sides, and it'll wind up in your mud, and then it just slows you down. You got to pull the plastic out. If you get this and you scrape up against the side, it's rounded. It's made for a 5-inch bucket that's rounded. So you're not going to take some of the plastic when you scoop up from the floor of your 5-gallon bucket. So I highly recommend these new Purdy Flex because of the length of the handle and the great flexibility. It puts pressure on the tool so that the tool is doing the work. When you have a longer handle and you do this, it puts more pressure on this tip to take away the excess joint compound that you fill in with nails, etc. When you use this one, you got to put first of all, it's less flexible, and second of all, you're doing the work, putting the pressure on the wrist and on that finger to make this thing take enough joint compound off so that your project looks good. Highly recommend these two new tools. If you can't find them at your Sherwin-Williams or your local paint store, just go on Amazon and order them on there. It's worth it. And sand them down, of course. And so this is a system I've come up with. This is an inexpensive tool case that I initially bought for something else, but now I've adapted it for all of my taping knives. My hawks are in here. If you just want to show them what's going on in here, you could just bring the camera and just show them. I got my hawk, my boat trowel, my circular sanding disc. I recently acquired this. I highly recommend this rather than the rectangular one, because the rectangular one flips a lot, okay? And those of you who do this, you know what I'm talking about. This, because it's rounded, is less inclined to flip on you on the wall. And so I use this. And of course I keep a bottle of texture, because a lot of the walls and ceilings in Florida are either popcorn or some variation of knockdown. So I keep that, but those cans don't last forever. So I'm going to show you something else. So I've adopted this little neat tool case to helping me to be more efficient. Whenever you have any of these tools, because they're sharp, you don't want to be putting your hands near the blade. I think it's a toilet bowl cleaner. But the benefit of this is that there's a lot of bristles here. They're nylon. Your hand's nowhere near the blade. Shake it off. It's not against your metal. I put a hook on my tool case. There you go. It's dripping on the job site, and you don't have any rust issues with your tools. Secondly, you also need a mud mixer, right? And so, of course, my mud mixer did not fit into my tool case. And so I just simply took a drill bit, bore out a hole, and so it fits right in there. Okay? It's a great little compact way. I got this at Walmart for $20. And I've adopted it to fit into the needs of my taping. Okay, so now you're new at this, you're just starting out, you got cut on the job. Any contractor should have this or something similar in his on his tool truck or at the workplace right here. And this is simply a first aid kit by 3M. I think I paid $15, $20 for it. Band-aids, ointment, whatever you need for little cuts and stuff, because I have gotten some nasty cuts from these tools, cleaning them the wrong way because I didn't have this. Okay, so I urge you to go. Home Depot and Lowe's have them. This is the last thing often we think about, but you need it. And if you're doing texture repair, there's something I want to introduce to you that I'm going to show you in a separate video. Another tool I want to show you before we close the video is a new and fast and efficient and clean way of touching up texture. How many times have you had to set up your hopper, mix the mud, add the water? How many times have you been stuck on a job where you had to touch up texture and it adds an hour to your job? If that's you, I urge you to get a small compressor, keep it on your truck, and this is a new tool that's put out by Easy Pro Texture, okay? And they convinced Sherwin-Williams to sell this product, but I'm sure you can get it on Amazon for cheaper. So you take the other end of your compressor hose, you hook it up to this part right here, and then you take this bag of texture, you attach it to this end of the gun, and with the compressor going, all you have to do is squeeze this and squeeze the trigger, and the texture comes out of this hole right here, and you can adjust it. Thick knockdown, thin knockdown. And what does it do? It sprays orange peel and knockdown texture from the same tip. You can't beat that, okay? But it's a product that you can't just get anywhere. I'm starting to get all of my products on Amazon, and the channels that I follow on YouTube, they put a link in their videos, and then it's all Amazon. I think the whole world is going Amazon. I really do. And you save money. Rather than, I'm going to start getting my wallpaper glue on Amazon, have it delivered. I have Prime. Anyway, I highly recommend this product because think of the hopper for texture. It's a big tool, right? It's the size of a newborn baby or even bigger. It's heavy on the wrist. Think. Then you gotta hold it with one hand. All of that wear and tear on the body. Think about all the time you got to be out of work because your wrist is hurting or you can't do the job that you want to, right? This makes the job easier. It costs a little money, but it's money well invested. Okay, and that is what I have to show you for the day. Remember, if you're a wallpaper installer, your best bet, make friends with the local paint store. Get these sea sponges to wash down your wallpaper. You can't beat it. This pulls the glue off of the front, it sucks it toward the middle, and you get a lot more wipe time from a sponge than you do a rag. And with this, you don't have any fibers being left on the wall. And that's it. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. Thanks for watching Spencer Colgan is Wallpaper, and I'll see you on the next one.